It's Rambling Hour with Lisa, Season 10, Episode 11. So, how is everyone today? What is up with you? Oh, this was supposed to be turned this way, so you saw more of this side that I made look nice and, you know, Steve's side table. So, just chilling in the bedroom today. But I would change it up a little bit because I didn't have anything planned. So instead of having the regular sitting on the couch, I'd be in here. I just ate a muffin and a blueberry brand muffin, and I feel like I have bits in my teeth. So for supper tonight, I made pork medallions, so like pork steaks and rice and mushroom soup to go on the rice and pork steaks, and then steamed asparagus. So it was a very nice dinner. I did eat dinner when I made it earlier, but I just wanted something quickly before I started my live, so I put a muffin in the microwave because it was frozen and ate that. So I have had a snack and I'm ready to visit with you guys and ramble on for an hour. So I hope everybody's had a good week and that, you know, that you guys are having a good day, a good Sunday. And what have you guys been up to this week? And what do you have planned for this week coming up? Let's see, for me, I am going to try and be out in the garden as much as I can. If the weather is permitting, and the last few days have been pretty mild, so I've been able to get stuff done. And because I haven't had to watch the puppy the last few days because it's been the weekend, I've been able to get out in the front garden and get stuff done out there. So I'm loving my new greenhouse, very excited about it. Haven't done a lot of seed planting yet. I actually just like an hour or so ago I planted some sweet corn and some courgettes or zucchini if you're North American. So I just put those in, but it's not a huge seed planting season this year just because I'm still getting used to having everything in the greenhouse and such. So as you guys know, or may not know, I officially announced our the fact that we are grandparents now. I put the announcement up for me and Steve on the social medias, and but I can't believe Jackson is already a month old. And he's doing great. And speaking of getting older, somebody had a one-year-old birthday last week. That would be Spencer, my friend Samantha's son. He is 1 already. So the time just goes so quickly. Also, I haven't posted. I did include it in a post about what's been going on lately, but I haven't done a dedicated post specifically to the fact that my first cousin, I can't explain to other people how close our family is, but which is funny because on both of my parents' sides, the families are really close, but especially the McDermott side, it's not just cousins and aunts and uncles. We are like one big family. Like, even if some of us might not be, you know, like get along, well, we all get along, but you know what I mean? Like, we're not best friends necessarily with everybody, but we know each other. It's like having lots of siblings, and we just know, you know, everybody's business, and we're so supportive of each other. So weddings and funerals and all of those things, we're always there for each other. So I'm sure there's other families out there that are as close as our family, but I've also seen many families who aren't as close as our families. So when I say that one of my first cousins passed away, I don't know if people will really comprehend how that is in this family. Now, obviously, her husband, my cousin was not even 60 years old. She's just a few years shy of 60. And she had lupus for years. And so she had, you know, dealings with bad health with that and stuff like that. And then she had 2 brain aneurysms, but she got those operated on, so she was fine from that. But she's no stranger to health issues and stuff. And then she got cancer, and that was it. That was the slow process of the end. So as sad as it is to have this death in our family, it's nice that she's not suffering anymore. She's not in pain, that she can rest and have full health again. But so first of all, for her husband, I I feel so much sadness. And for her 3 daughters and their spouses, you know, like, I can't even imagine what that's like. And one of the daughters just had a baby who luckily arrived before my cousin passed away, so she got to meet her granddaughter, her first grandchild. But, you know, going through that, now being a parent, I don't know how I would feel about, sorry, I just got a text from one of the kids and it was distracting me. It would be so hard having your first baby, and then you'll have those moments when you want to just text your mom and say, what do I do with this? And she's not there anymore. So, you know, I can't even imagine what that'll be like. So not only her husband and her kids, but then my aunt and uncle, you know, because they say that you know, you're not supposed to bury your children. So it's just sad all around. And then again, all of the aunties and uncles and cousins and such, because we are such a close family. This isn't just, you know, someone that we hear of passing away. This is somebody who we're all close to. My little sister especially is very close to my cousin Maureen as well, and her family. But yeah, so a death in the family, and it's not an easy time. These are the times too that I am frustrated that I live so far away, because I would like to be there for family and be supportive, but I'm so far away that, like, and I can't get to go to the funeral. I don't even know when the funeral is right now. I'm hoping that the funeral will be live broadcasted, because I know that they do that in Canada now sometimes, and that's really cool, and I wish that they would pick that up even more, like here and stuff like that. And Steve said, well, maybe it's not here as much because it's not as far to go, and you don't have as, you know, like winter weather necessarily here as bad, so you can get to funerals. I'm like, yeah, but what about people who have moved away from England and there's a funeral and they want to, you know, they would like to tune in to the funeral, but it's just one of those things. So we'll see what happens. Hello, Samantha. Samantha says hello. So yeah, that is what's going on right now. And then losing someone who's on the first cousin basis or a sibling. Oh yeah, sorry. Also, yes, not just my auntie and uncle, but my cousins. That like Maureen has 2 sisters and a brother, and for them to lose a sister, like, again, I have siblings. I know how close our family is. Like, I can't imagine, and my heart just goes out to them. But what was I gonna say? Oh, it just, having someone on that level, it's like the same level as you. So if you have a friend who passes away, or someone the same age as you, I know she was a bit older than me, but it's just that first cousin thing. It gives you, again, a reality check of how short our time is here, and how we shouldn't take it for granted. We just need to really focus on what is it that we want to get out of this life before we die, and are we doing it, and are we happy? So think about those things in your own life, and if not, make adjustments. I actually just spoke to one of our kids about a situation they're in, and they don't know if they should change it or keep going. And I said, if you go to sleep at night, or before you go to sleep at night, you ask yourself if you're happy. If the answer is yes, more than no, then you're fine. If the answer starts becoming no more than yes, then you need to change something. So for me, my goal in life was always to be happy. And although when I was younger, people thought that was a stupid, like, not stupid, but they just, like, that's not, how is that a goal? Like, you know, be a doctor or a veterinarian. I don't know, like work in a gas station, like a petrol station, or in a shopping, like, all I said is I don't care what I do, I just want to be happy. And now it's funny how so many things that I lived my life as a kid is how so many people are, like, realizing, like, that's how you should live now. And so, like, all these things about and not only that, with my depression, I've had to work on myself so much that I've had to do these, you know, like mindfulness and, you know, calming, and all these, like, these exercises and things that I've had to learn and teach myself to do is something that's, like, mainstream now, where, you know, talking about your feelings, writing them down, journaling, you know, finding those outlets, letting yourself cry, and knowing that being happy is what's more important in life, family and stuff like that, as opposed to, you know, putting yourself through college, coming out with a bunch of debt, and then trying to have a career that's not even satisfying, and sacrificing seeing your family and everything else. Like, that doesn't make sense to me, and it never has. So even when my first husband left and I had a restaurant to run, I had 3 young kids. One summer break came, I didn't know, well, my options were to close the restaurant or to keep the restaurant open and try and find childcare for 3 kids. And I couldn't do it because, I could always have another business, but I could never get that time back with the kids. So I sacrificed, an income and a restaurant that I loved and I actually just dreamt about last night running a restaurant. I sacrificed that to be with my kids for the summer and raise them. And I don't regret that at all because, like I said, the kids, like the youngest is she's 14, she'll be 15 in July, and it just goes by too fast. So I don't regret making that decision. The kids come first and life comes first. It needs to be a balance. Obviously, you still need to pay your bills, but like I said, you don't want to put all your effort into one thing, especially if it doesn't make you happy, and then sacrifice all the other things that don't make you happy. Hang on 1 second. Yes?
Sorry, Tom was wondering if you wanted to do anything for the shop.
No, I'm good with Tom. And tell Aurora that, I guess, tell her to text me who, and the answer is probably.
What?
She sent me a question, and it came up as a text. I can't text her back, so tell her to text me who, and then I said the answer is probably. Sorry, that, like 1 hour a week. 1 hour a week. The same hour every week, pretty much. But, yeah, even right before, it was like 8:02 or 8:03, and Erica called my phone, and I'm like, you're lucky that I haven't started my live yet. But she's like, oh yeah, it's Sunday, oh right. And then, I mean, it was Erica who came in, but Tom just wanted to know if I wanted anything from the shop, which is really sweet. But again, it's an interruption. And then, yeah, Aurora texting and now calling, and like, how do you not know? It's like I said, it's the same time every week. It's Sunday. So if you think you have plans on this Sunday, which is what she wants a sleepover, but the caravan isn't clean and organized. Like the guest house isn't clean and organized. It still has those single and double loft beds in the front room of it. And it's just not like organized for a sleepover. But even though Aurora doesn't have school on Mondays, and she doesn't have to work, I said no sleepovers on like Sunday nights because Erica has school, so it's a school night. So she's texted and asked if they could sleep in caravan, but I don't even know who they are. And I mean, I don't know. Part of me wants to say no, but there's no reason. She's been working. She's been going to her shifts. She's been responsible. She's 17, for anyone who doesn't know. She's 17. She has her first job. She's going to her shift. She's happier than I've ever seen her. I like that she's making tips, because when you have a job that you make tips, and you don't have to tip here as much as like North America, so it's not necessarily easy to find a job here that you'd get tips. But when you do get tips, it's like you have that, even if it's a couple pounds, it's like it feels like spending money, like, and then your paycheck can go away and you can save that, but you have your tips to just be frivolous with. So I think she's quite happy having a little bit of money, her own money. She showed me her bank balance when she got her first paycheck, and yeah, she's very happy. So she had 3 weeks off from school, which was 2 of it was the spring break, but the other one was for work experience for school. So the job that she has goes towards her college work experience. She still has to make up the hours, even though she goes back to college this week. She still has to make up 100 hours for her work experience. But my point is, she's just been really responsible. She's been doing really well. So when she asks to have, someone sleep over or these things, it's harder for me to say no when she's doing everything that she needs to be doing right now and doing it well without anybody having to, get on her tail. Like, she's not late for work. So then it's like, well, yeah, she's being responsible, so she should be rewarded. But at the same time, there's still rules. So that's why I said probably they could sleep. The bedroom's fine in the guest house, but just, I don't know. And it also depends who it is, how many it is, right? So I was lucky when we were growing up, we had a basement in our house, and there was bedrooms in the basement. So we all had our own rooms as kids. So if we had someone sleep over, we had our own rooms, but also we had the basement. So most of our rooms were in the basement. And so, like, even if we had more than one friend over, it wasn't noisy and keeping my parents up necessarily, because their room was upstairs. and so is the kitchen and living room. So we wouldn't be in the main areas. We'd be downstairs. But here, it's not like that. The main areas, the kitchen and living room, are downstairs, and all the bedrooms are on the same level, so we can hear right through the walls. And so that's what the guest house is kind of like, supposed to be like how it was for us to have a basement. But it just, the other thing is, I don't know what the temperature is supposed to be overnight tonight, but well, there is a heater in there, but it's just, yeah, I mean, I need to get rid of the 2 old greenhouses, and I need to get rid of the 2 loft beds that are in there. I'm going to put the greenhouses on the, like, Middlewich Crazy Daisies site and see if they want them, because then it's right in Middlewich. It'll be easy to, because if you can just carry them to wherever, then that's better. But like moving them, if it's someone else, somewhere else, you might have to take them apart, and it's like IKEA furniture, right? Once you put it together, you don't really want to take it apart, because, you know, it's not going to be as good once you put it together again necessarily. So we'll see. Those are things that I have to do this week, is get rid of those and organize the, you know, clean up the living room of the guest house. So that is not what I was meaning to talk about today, but that's what the rambling hour is all about, is just me rambling about whatever is going on. So yesterday I needed a photo of the day. It was a faceless portrait. And so sometimes I cheat a little bit. If I don't have the picture, I'll do it the next day, which I did today. So when I got up this morning, I had a shower and did my hair and took some pictures. It's really cool with my ring light, because it's like a tripod as well, and it holds my phone and everything else. And it came with a remote control for taking photos and stuff. So I set it up outside and did a little photo shoot with myself. So it's really cool that I don't need a photographer to take pictures of me. And yeah, so I did the photo of me wearing a hat, and then from the back, which is like the faceless portrait. And then I also did a few other photos that I'm really happy with. It looks like I'm a cute little gardener, but I haven't posted any of them yet. Lori says, how is your adorable grandbaby? He is doing really well. I saw him last weekend, so I haven't. The thing is that he has so much family. Like, so Amy has her dad, who I'm married to, Steve, and me. And then she has her mom, Lynn, and her husband, Trevor, and then James's parents. And so that's 3 sets of grandparents, plus like Lynn's family is really, really close, and they get together lots and stuff like that. Plus Amy and James, you know, being young and stuff, you have all your friends and stuff like that. So there's like, so she has so much support and so many people that, and I know that I've already had my babies. So there's part of me that wants to like be there and, you know, see him. Like Steve's like that. Steve tries to see him as much as he can, which is really sweet, but I want to like not overdo it and be like a crazy grandma, like wanting to see the baby all the time. So last weekend we went out for my father-in-law Chris's birthday, and it was nice because around Mother's Day we went out with me and Steve, Steve's mom Trisha and her husband Chris, and then Amy and James. So 3 couples, 3 generations. We went out for dinner for Mother's Day, and then, but Amy saw the baby in her belly, and then a few weeks later, which was last weekend, we went, because Mother's Day is in March here in the UK, and then, so last weekend we went out for Chris's birthday, and it was the 3 couples again, and baby Jackson, and he just, besides when everybody was holding him while we were around the table, other than that, he just sat in his stroller, like bassinet type stroller at the end of the table, and was just so well behaved the whole time. And it was just, yeah, it was really, really great. So, and we went to the same place to eat. So that was kind of neat too. The only thing is that we didn't take any photos the first time when she was still pregnant. And we did take some, yeah, I think I took a couple photos, but I know that they took photos as well. And now that I've made the announcement about the grandbaby, I can actually add some more photos of him and us holding him and stuff like that. I know. So Samantha said, when you need a baby fix but can't see Jackson, come snuggle my little bear. I know, Samantha, and I know that, like, with you, like, if as soon as I walk in the room at your place or whatever, either I'll grab Spencer or you'll just, like, hand him off to me, and you've never been, like, one to, you know, to worry about me holding him or anything like that. But and Amy has been great. Like, she does let people hold Jackson and everything else, so he's got so much love. But I still feel like I don't feel that I'm still not that comfortable yet to just steal him like he's, you know, just, you know. And but with Spencer, I definitely feel like I can just hold him and play with him. And even Danielle, who's 5 now, she's not really a baby, but you know what I mean. So, but yes, and I did get to see Spencer when I picked up Erica from visiting Tyla, but he was sleeping. So, and I hadn't washed my hands from being out in the garden. I just jumped in my car, went over to Samantha's mom's house to get Erica really quick because I wanted to come back and go back in the garden. But, so yeah, it was just like dirty hands and the baby was sleeping, so I didn't even get to pick Spencer up well, I didn't want to bug him, but I pet the little pug dog and he loved the attention. So, yes, I'm not comparing babies to dogs, but at the same time, I need my dog love and I need my baby love. And I am not having any more of my own babies, so I have to get that elsewhere. And as far as dogs go, I'm not planning on having a new dog anytime soon, even if and when Lena, our 11-year-old, well, 10-year-old, almost 11-year-old German Shepherd goes. Samantha says he is sleeping now again. Well, I mean, it is 8:30, and in the world of 1-year-olds, it would be bedtime, wouldn't it? The big 1-year-old now, I can't believe he's 1 already. Like, time goes by so quick. Like I said, Spencer's 1, and Jackson, our grandson, is a month old already. In the first year, those months are like big milestones, right? So it goes by so quickly. Like, I became friends with Samantha when she only had one child, who is best friends with our Erica. And like I said, when we moved here, Erica was 6, and now Samantha has 4, 1 who lives in heaven and 3 here. But can you guys believe that? Okay, so at the beginning of May, so in a couple weeks, it's going to be mine and Steve's 9-year dating anniversary, and come October, it'll be 9 years since we've lived here. Like, again, time just goes like by. So I mean, yes, I can look at milestones in our own life and see like, oh yeah, I guess we have been here 9 years, but at the same time, it doesn't feel like that long either. Samantha says, still the size of a 2 to 3 month old. Yeah, I know Spencer is still small, but he is way more interactive now, smiling lots, and but the good thing about him being small is that he still feels like a little baby. And so you still get those snuggle baby. Like, the best part of a little baby is when they're like wearing their little sleeper to go to sleep in and they're snuggly and everything. So you still get that with Spencer. Lori said, wow. I'm guessing she's saying wow to the fact that a 1-year-old is the size of a 2 to 3 month old. But that's because, if you didn't know, Spencer was born premature. So, oh, okay. Time flies. Yes, 9 years. I know that too. Well, okay. So, Lori, even if you think about the fact that Allison's 19 and you remember her going to your mom's for, and Breton is like 21 and you remember them going to your mom's for day home. Well, I've been here for 9 years, and then I was in Saskatchewan for 7 years, and then I was in Edmonton before that. So it's been like, what's 9 plus 7, like 16 years since I lived in Edmonton. It is crazy. So Lori says, no, about you guys living there that long. Laugh loud, right? Yes. Yeah, it's crazy. But, you know, it's nice. Lori says, I saw a picture of Brock driving and gasped. So this is the thing, because Steve does not get, he gasps when he thinks of a 14-year-old driving, not just my nephew Brock. But in Canada, 14 is the age that you get your learners. I've talked about this before. This bugs me. Whoop, careful. This bugs me a lot here. So in Canada, yeah, you might be able to start at 14, and Steve and others might think that's a bit young, but we have more open space and everything else to practice. But the thing is, you can't get your learners. You cannot sit behind a wheel on any of, like in private property, but on a normal road, you cannot sit behind the wheel of a car unless you have your learners, which means that you passed your theory test, which means you know the rules of the road. Here, you have to be 17 but you can do driving behind a vehicle. You have to get your what's called a provisional, and all you have to do for that is pay £35, send in your photo, which is what we need to do for Aurora and Aurora and Allison still. Remind me to do that this week. And then you can drive behind a vehicle even if you don't even know what a stop sign is. It's ridiculous. So yes, you would take driving lessons and everything else, but then at some point you need to pass your your theory test so that you can go for your driving test. So you can do your theory test. Once you pass your theory test, you can go for your driver's test. But technically, you could do all of those things as soon as you turn 17. Like, without it, to me, it doesn't make sense that you can be behind the wheel, even if there is an adult sitting beside you who knows the rules of the road, but you can be behind the wheel when you don't even know your basic rules of the road yet. Now, of course, our kids, we are teaching them before they're doing that. Like, even Tom and I believe Amy and Owen all had lessons from Steve, but Allison, will do private lessons as well. But yeah, so it is crazy. So Brock is 14, but he's the youngest of the kids that were born that year of cousins and stuff like that. So Erica is our 14-year-old who will be 15 in July. Brock is 14, but he'll be 15 in September. And yes, he is one of the, but that's the other thing is that he's driven as soon as he turned 14. Well, no, I guess he turned 14 in September, but he got his learners, he's learning and everything else. So if you're eager, and then we have here a 21-year-old, a 19-year-old, and a 17-year-old who could all be driving right now, but they are not. They're just, they don't even have their theory test passed. So whatever. I started driving at 14 as well. I don't think it's too young. I think it depends on the mentality of the individual. And I also think because it's not like you're just letting them go drive wherever they want at 14. They are sitting beside an adult who knows what to do. And again, they're learning. So I don't see it any different than a 25-year-old as long as they're taking it seriously. So, yeah, so Melody says, yes, Brett is 21 and Brock is 14. And Lori says, OMG. And then Lori says, yes, Mel, time flies. Last time I saw Brock was your shower. Just crazy. So I'm guessing that's the baby shower for Brock, which obviously was 14 and a half years ago. So, I better not chew on my nails. Not that I don't really chew on my nails, but they're dirty from being in the greenhouse. So I don't want to get any illnesses. What else should we talk about? I have no idea. I would love to have plants in our bedroom like this, but I think I've explained this before. Because Steve doesn't sleep well, and then he might not get to sleep until earlier in the morning when it's already light outside, our curtains stay closed almost all of the time. So, and sometimes after he gets up and goes to work, but he's his own boss, so he might not go to work until whatever time, say 9 or 10 a.m. And then even if I open the curtains, I might not come back into the bedroom until we're gonna, watch TV. So, and then even if he is home and he wants to watch TV, he doesn't like the glare. So our curtains are barely open. So I have 3 little plants on the windowsill behind the curtain, in between the window and the curtain. But there's no point in having nice ones like this because they won't get enough light in this room. So it'll be different when we have our the garage being our bedroom, because it's gonna have patio doors that open to the pond in front, and although I'll have to have some type of curtain or blind on those to block the light for when he needs it, I'm going to be wanting the light in and being able to see the pond as much as I can. Also, that is when I was in the greenhouse. It's so cool that I can just look out and see the raised beds, and then I can just see the whole garden from the greenhouse, the back garden. And then also I was doing what I was doing. I didn't even realize it was raining out because I didn't hear it, but it's a light rain. But yeah, that I'm dry and warm and cozy in my greenhouse. Well, it's raining out. It's very cool. Melody says, wait, let me make sure I didn't miss anything. Melody says, I think I have to put my peace lily in a larger pot. I water him. He is fine for 1 to 2 days and then starts drooping again. Yeah, that means that there's more roots than medium, like growing medium, like soil or whatever you use, that holds the moisture. So right now there's more roots than growing medium. So there's nothing to hold the moisture. The roots just suck it up and then he's ready to go. Good thing about peace lilies is they will tell you when they're thirsty by drooping. This one is, I have had peace lilies before, but not in years. And this is a new one. So he was just drooping the other day. But they are quite an easy house plant. And like I said, you don't need to water them unless, you know, they kind of start to droop and then they'll tell you. And even then you can take them out of the pot, like not out of their pot, but out of the decorative pot. Take them like this. You can run them under the tap or set them in a sink of water and let them absorb it from the bottom. And then take them and you can put them on the drain board or wherever and let them drain off for this. You can do with all the plants like that, where you water them and let them drain for half an hour at least, so that it's only the soil holding the moisture. It's not sitting in water in the pot. So, yeah, but peace lilies are quite easy. Actually, these two plants, I know I keep like, because I'm obsessed with like, okay, so I lost a lot of plants in the garden this year because of the extreme weather here, which is only minus 13, but it was like, it's drastic for here. So a lot of people lost a lot of plants in the garden, but I am, instead of just replacing lots of plants in the garden, I want to focus on my house plants as well. And I keep like watching all these people on Instagram who have all these house plants. So I don't want to overdo it. Because I want to love the ones I have, and I don't want to just have a big graveyard of dead plants. But I kind of keep, like, when I see them at a good price or whatever, I keep sneaking. So this is a pepperami, not a pepperami. How do you say it? Something like that, anyways. And I have one on my kitchen window ledge that I do really well with too, and it's the same, actually, but the one on my window ledge, this one I'm gonna repot that because it's got a leaf on, but I'll take this flower stem thing off. But they get these long things like that. That's one of the ways you can tell that they're the pepper or whatever. But the one by the kitchen sink, it starts to just look a little bit paler, and its leaves go down a little bit when it needs water, but I don't overwater it because, especially like this one, it has thick succulent-like leaves, so that means it's not going to want to sit in water. It's not going to want a lot of water. But yeah, these two are new, but I just got them from the grocery store, so that's where I buy lots of plants even for the garden, because it's not as expensive there as they would be, especially if you get them reduced. Sometimes, like Melody said, with the drooping peace lily, like sometimes you'll find that they'll be reduced, but only because they couldn't be bothered to water them and stuff. So you can try and rescue plants too if you can afford the half price or whatever. So yeah, so these ones actually are sitting outside the our bedroom door. Because it's like a balcony in the entranceway, and then there's a window across the balcony. There's a lot of light that gets in there, so I have some plants there, and that's where these two are, where they belong. I am really excited about the weather. It is still chilly-ish here. It doesn't feel like summer type spring yet, but it's still, like I said, it's been mild enough out some days to get some of the work done in the garden. But I'm looking forward to like warm days, and well, even warm evenings. Like even it might feel warmer in the sun during the afternoon, but like the evenings get chilly and the nights get chilly still. So I just read that too. Like I planted a bunch of castor bean seeds, but I was just reading that they need like 15 to 20 degrees to germinate. So I just, instead of having them in the greenhouse, I brought them in. So because it's not that warm in the greenhouse yet. I don't have electricity out there to have like any type of heater on overnight. And I do have a paraffin heater, but I need to buy some paraffin for it, and I don't like the smell of it. So it's like a liquid fuel, and you put it into it and you light wicks, and it keeps the wicks lit, and then it puts heat into your greenhouse. But I guess it is a cheaper way to do it if you don't want to use electricity and if you don't have electricity out there. So I don't know where my mommy is today, but she's not on, so that's okay. If you're watching this now or at a later time, like I said, I did eat my supper, but I'm still kind of hungry, so I might have some more. I didn't have as much as, I had 10 pieces of asparagus, 1 pork medallion and a bit of rice and some tomato soup on that and some Frank's hot sauce on that. And then, like I said, muffin, a blueberry bran muffin just before I started my live. So I should be okay. So maybe I'm not actually hungry. Maybe I'm just like maybe I need distracting. Actually, Gardener's World, the gardening program started again. It starts in April, so I missed a few episodes already. So that's my plan this evening is to, because Steve has gone to cards with his mates, I'm planning on watching some Gardener's World. So it's hard because the Gardener's World goes away for the winter, which is, makes sense, I guess, kind of, except really you can garden all year here. But I guess the presenters need a break. But it comes back, but it's like, yeah, you want to watch it because, to see what to do that week and everything else. Oh, Mom says she is on. Sorry, Mom, I didn't know that. Mom says, Lisa, I am on. So, hello, Mommy. Yeah, so you want to watch Gardener's World because they give you, jobs for the week and what you should be doing and everything. At the same time, it's like, hello, I want to spend all my time either in the garden or sleeping or, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to make myself sit down and watch a program about gardening. Just makes me want to go and do something in the garden. So, at night, sometimes I'll be looking at like the house plant pictures or gardening pictures and stuff like that. Oh yeah, Mom says I was the first one. Yes, I do remember now, Mom, but sometimes it tells me who comes up and they're watching and sometimes it doesn't. So but maybe I said hi to you already. I can't remember. Oh yeah, so I look at pictures of plants and gardening and stuff like that while Steve's watching TV or playing his video games or whatever, or even if we're supposed to be watching something together and I'm playing on my phone. And we call it porn, but when I say, no, I'm just looking at some porn, he's like, you need to say plant porn because if the kids hear, then they're going to be like, yeah, so he calls it my porn, but I got to remember to say plant porn because I'm just like obsessed. So Auntie Diane says hi there. Hi, Auntie Diane. We're just talking about gardening and houseplants and, I was going to tell you guys because there's messages coming up at the top of my phone, which reminded me that Mom and Chris, because we went out last weekend for Chris's birthday. He's the same age as my mom, actually. So he just turned 74 and my mom will be 74 in December. Is that right, Mom? I think you're 73 right now. So, what was I saying? Oh, so Mom and Chris, like Steve's mom and her husband Chris, they are gone on their very first cruise. They were in Florida yesterday, I think, but I haven't seen the family messages, so I don't know. I just saw somebody wrote, oh, beautiful, so I don't know. Actually, and then, yeah, it might be in a hotel room. I don't know what they're sending right now, but anyways, they're going to be going on a cruise out of Florida. I think it's a Caribbean cruise, so that's exciting for them. It's their first cruise, so hopefully they have a good time on that, especially because Chris just had cancer treatment this last year, so he's doing well from that. And so, you know what, this is what life's about. I'm glad that they're having a vacation, and I hope it all goes well. So, Auntie Dan says, I just received a pack of seeds. I wanted to thank you. I'm excited to plant them. Yes, so as you guys may or may not know, a few episodes ago, well, I've talked about it for a few years, I just never got my ass in gear to do it, but I did now. I asked if anybody wanted any packets of seeds because I have way too many. So for some of you who said yes, well, for anybody who did say yes, I posted out envelope of seed packets. So Auntie Dan's the third person out of, I think, 7 that I have heard that have gotten their seeds. And there's a couple more people, I think, who might enjoy getting seeds. They haven't told me that they wanted them necessarily, but they might not know that I have them on offer. But I've thought of a couple more people I can send some to because I still have some. So I am excited to see, Auntie Diane, what... first of all, I'm really excited that the seeds got through customs because Steve said to me too, he's like, oh, I read that post about Melinda, your cousin Melinda, getting seeds. And he's like, you got to be careful about that. And I'm like, what? No. He thought I was sending seeds from my garden. I'm like, no, these are seed packets from companies. They're sealed and they come on the front of the magazines that I buy, the gardening magazines that I buy, because I might be an obsessed gardener. But and I just get, sometimes they give you the same ones, and so I just have so many, so I sent them out, because it's just a waste if I don't use them. So I sent them out, but I'm very excited to see the people who I did send them to, because, and it was in Canada, so I wasn't sure if they would get through customs because it's seeds and everything else, but they have, and I'm excited about that. I never lied about what was in the packets, and plus it's customs, they'll open it if they want to. So I'm really happy that they got there, and I'm really excited to see who plants what of what I've sent. I tried to mix it up. I tried to, I did think about the person while I was sending him, but I also tried to mix it up a bit as well. So, and Dana says, can't wait to plant the catnip. Our cat will be going crazy. Laugh out loud. Yes, I don't know how it does there in North America, but here you can do it in a pot, or if it's in the ground, it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger every year. So catnip and catmint are basically the same thing, and it gets these really nice purple flowers, and it smells so good, even if you step on it and everything else. But and even if I do let it flower, which I do every year. Also, I do, because it grows in a big area, my brain isn't working for terms right now, but not a bush, but a big spread, whatever. Then you can cut back. Okay, so they have this thing called the Chelsea Chop, which we do in May, which is when the Chelsea Flower Show is on, so it kind of coincides with that. So you guys would probably do it a little bit later in Canada, but depending on the plant. What it is that you take the plant, so say my catmint is growing like this and it's going to flower, you can chop it, and then it postpones the flowering so that this will flower later. But what I do, if it's a big bunch, is that I chop half of it, so I let this half flower normally, and I chop this half in front, and it still looks nice and green and everything else. It just doesn't have the flowers on it. It looks really pretty in different heights. And then later in the season, this one is growing and going to flower. And then I can either cut that one back or just leave it to seed and everything else. So yeah, it's good for the Chelsea Chop as well. So yeah, enjoy the catmint. So, and whatever other seeds I've sent you. I remember that there was these oat seeds that I could grow for cats, and I had regular oats, but then they had variegated oats too, but I used all the seeds up, and then I've never found them again. So, and I don't have any cats, but it was still nice to grow even as a grassy plant. But I just grew that in pots as well when I did have cats, and that was in Canada, so it's probably one of the reasons I haven't found it since. So, Steve renewed his passport, so hopefully we will be going to Turkey in May, although it's ridiculous that the prices. Okay, so if we booked right now, you could get for one person, it's 90 pounds. But then when it goes to the break, when the kids are off school, it goes to 500 pounds a round trip per person. So I understand making it a little bit more expensive when kids are on holidays because everybody wants to travel then, but it is ridiculous that if you take your kids out of school when it's not term break, then you can get fined 80 pounds per day that your kid is missing if there's not a legitimate reason, like them being sick or having a dentist appointment or something. And yet, if you want to travel during the holidays, that a price would go from 90 to 500. So we're just going to keep watching and see what deals we can get, because that's quite expensive. And we'll see who's going, me, Steve, Erica, and then we don't know if Aurora and Allison will be having to work. And Tom has his doggy, so he probably won't be able to go unless he finds someone to watch his puppy. So, but hopefully we'll be going to Turkey in May, because Samantha and her parents have a place there, so they go often, but obviously they don't have to go when kids are out of school. But Samantha and her kids are going to be going there as well, and we will hopefully get together for part of the holidays that's overlapping. So we'll see what days we leave and come back, depending on if we want to take the kids out of school, risk a fine, but save money on the plane tickets. So What else can I tell you? The gardening is overwhelming. Like I don't know if you guys remember, but I pouted all winter because I didn't have my greenhouse and stuff. So then I left things that should have been done even during the winter and didn't do them. But at the same time, yes, there's a point when in spring that there's some things you don't clean up in the garden until the frost days are gone, because lots of little critters and insects and everything are using the, the fallen leaves and debris and everything else to like live in and keep shelter for the winter. So yes, I realize that lots of the cleaning up couldn't be done until now anyways, but at the same time there's lots that could have been done earlier, and I am just feeling a little bit overwhelmed. It's getting there slowly, but like to go through and also to cut out all the dead stuff, and then to the pots that I don't know what's dead and whatever. But yeah, so it just feels a bit overwhelming outside right now, but slowly I'm getting there. And then I still do have the guilt that if I'm outside all day, I feel like I should be doing something that's more productive to the family. Although we do all enjoy the garden, so, and obviously that's my thing, and like I do still make supper most of the time, but sometimes it's like a lazy supper because I want to be outside if it's not raining. But I'm trying to plan meals, so like I did this week. A couple days ago we had pulled pork pasta, and me and Steve had pulled pork on buns, and I put the pork shoulder in the morning in the slow cooker, so that, stuff like that, if I can sort it out so I do it before I get outside and it's mostly done, then I won't feel as guilty. Because the thing is, if I come in right when it's time to make supper, then I know, because it gets dark still, like dusky and stuff, I know that if I come in to make supper when I'm supposed to, that by the time I'm done making a proper supper, I probably won't be getting back outside. So it makes me sad. So as long as I plan better with the meals, and then as long as I'm still keeping up with taking care of the family, then I shouldn't feel guilty being outside. But I kind of do right now, especially with I just feel overwhelmed with how much needs to get done out there. So, Man Can I Ramble. It's a good name for the show. But when I listen to podcasts and stuff, I don't know if, like, certain podcasts will come up with things that they say often, and so they have like catchphrases and stuff. And I know when I was younger, I used to say like a lot, like totally like, like a valley girl, like it was so cool, like. But I don't know if now there's any catchphrases I say. I know that in Canada we say that sucks for a lot of things, and Melody pointed out that here in the UK, and I might do it too because I've lived here so long, they say things like, to be honest, blah 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 blah, or to be, what was that one, to be honest, or to tell you the truth, or something like that. It's like, well, why were you lying the other times? Like, why? But yeah, I guess it's like something that they say here often, like, to be honest, I'm not sure that I really want to, or whatever. Like, so I wonder if there's any that are specifically me. What? Yeah, I was listening to a podcast about, it was interviewing somebody who's on a TV show, and she has some catchphrases that she uses often, but they are not very nice ones, so I'm not going to say them on here. Melody said the other one is to be fair. To be honest, to be fair. So, I mean, I like to be fair anyways, so that's someone that I would use. I like things to be fair as they can be. I know life isn't fair, so why not try and make it fair when you can? The problem with me drinking pop while I'm doing my rambling hour is that it takes a half an hour for liquid to hit your bladder, and so if I drink too much, especially if I've drank it before I start my live, sometimes I'm sitting here jiggling around because I'm actually like wanting to move less because I may need the facilities, but I will grin and bear it because we only have about 15 minutes left to ramble. I don't know if, I think, first of all, I haven't thought about a question for the end of life planning, but also I think with the fact that my cousin passed away, I think we're going to skip the question this week, and we'll pick that up again next week for the Rambling Hour. I also want, I'm going to reach out to a couple of people because I want to start having guests again. So if you want to be a guest on my Rambling Hour, even if it's not for the whole hour, message me and let me know if you want to be my guest on here, because I would love other people, my friends and family, to see my other friends and family and what their personalities are like and introduce you guys to each other, because you guys are lovely. So, and even though I love me, it doesn't have to always be about me, and we can learn new and interesting things from each other because we all have something to offer. So yes, if you want to be my guest, or you want to suggest somebody who we know to be a guest, then let me know and message me. I keep chewing. I got like dry skin on my lips too that I keep trying to chew off. Maybe I should just use some chapstick. The weather is just like that in between right now. Like I said, it's like not springy summer type weather yet, but it's not winter weather anymore. So it's just the in between. So, but I say that about here in England. To me, the weather in England is like always spring and autumn. You never get like a winter like on the prairies, or a summer like on the prairies. You're just kind of like always waiting for the extreme season to come. But saying that, a few years ago we had a summer that was like smoking hot here, and it was really, really nice because it reminded me of home. The only thing was that no rain was coming, so it was very dry, and luckily we didn't have a hose pipe ban here, so I still was able to keep most things alive at the time in the garden. But I hope that if we do have a nice hot summer, that we still get like rain to balance it out. I just keep waiting like somebody else is going to say something. Like, okay, your turn for your half the conversation. But then it's silent. And I'm not used to silence. Although Spirit has okay, so my Spirit team, you know, if you believe in all that woo-woo stuff, my Spirit team on the other side keep giving me signs to get my shit together. They keep like, you know, when you see like, duplicate numbers, like say you look at the clock, like obviously people know 11:11, like the wishing hour or whatever, so lots of people will see 11:11, but it could even be like 5:55 or 4:44 or 10:10, like these, it keeps happening, and it's like my Spirit team saying like, hello, you need to pay attention, you need to be connected, because I wear headphones all the time and I'm just listening to my podcast and I'm never zoned in, whereas like in the past, especially growing up, I was always in my head, so I was always talking to the voices in my head and always connected, even though I didn't know what it was. And so whether I'm gardening, whether I'm doing art, whether I'm doing dishes, like I was always connected. And now I have my headphones all the time. I'm just totally not connected to my Spirit team and my spiritual life. So I've been trying, especially outside, to not wear my headphones and to listen to the birds and try to be connected. So Auntie Diane says, have to go, chat with you later. Company just got here. Well, enjoy your company. Love you. And you can watch the rest later, because that's the thing, is I post these so you can watch them when's convenient for you. Although I do like when people watch live and interact, because it gives me things to talk about, and then I feel like we've had a visit. So if any of you are watching right now, feel free to put questions in there, or topics, or whatever you want to know, see, say, do. I don't know. Yeah, so I am trying to not wear my headphones all the time and not block off. It started, I think I've said this before, it started when, with COVID and lockdown and kids being home and everything, that I just was like, oh my God, how do I get away from people? And I started listening to my headphones a lot like that, especially because once people were home all the time, I couldn't listen to like my phone just playing out loud, or music playing out loud or whatever, because I didn't want to annoy everybody else. So it just, and now it's like I mean, it is I mean, I enjoy my podcast, but I get what my Spirit team is trying to relay, that I need to be connected. We should all be connected. We should all take time to connect to our Spirit team too. When we're quiet and connected, that's when Spirit can get through to give us those nudges of which direction to take in life. That's when people who have passed away will be more likely to come through. And I did have a dream. My cousin Maureen, I did dream about her, not last night, the night before, and in my dream it was like what they say when they're like healthier and younger. She was in her 30s, but she looked healthier and better than she did in real life in her 30s. Like, she still looked like her, but you know what I mean, her best self. And she was just sitting across the table from me, and we were talking, and she knew that she was going to die, and she was just saying, like, it's time now, you know, I'm prepared and everything else. And then the next thing that I remember was being in a hospital room. I came in the room, and she was lying in a bed, and I was looking around, and I don't know why, but it was like people were sitting in chairs, but it was almost like they were lying too, like somebody was holding her hand and like lying with their head on the bed. So it was her mom and my mom and my sisters and her sisters and my Auntie Joan, and I can't remember who. I was looking for someone. I was like, oh, where's, and I saw that they were there too, and I was like, oh, well, yeah, everyone's here. And what I think it was is, I don't think it was a dream visit where after someone passes away, they'll come and visit with you. My theory is, because in my dream, she was telling me that she had to, it was time to pass away, but she had already passed away. I think what it was is that some people say that when we come to Earth, we only bring 10% of ourselves here, and part of us is still up in the spirit world. I think, anyways, or even if not, you know how we leave our bodies at night or whatever, there's a spirit, you know, like how we can separate. So our astral self, I think that was our higher self getting together. So I think that was like what happened a few days before, even though time is like whatever. But I think that happened like before she passed away, but it was our higher selves getting together. And so my family and me and her, and like we were all there supporting her in our higher selves as well. And, you know, even though I couldn't be there physically, spiritually, I was there with them. And yeah, so it was, you know, sad but nice, and she just knew it was her time. And yeah, so that's the only dream I've had about her. I haven't had any communication with her yet, but the thing is that as much as we're close, I mean, I'm not one of her main people, right? So she's gonna have to get used to being on the other side, and then if anything, if she was gonna come to somebody right away, it would be, you know, her own kids or her husband. And I know that her kids have always been a bit connected to the spirit world since they were little even. So I would like to think that they might pick something up and be open to it. But I will let my family know if I do hear from her. I was surprised how quickly I heard from my dad. Because again, a lot of times they have to get acclimatized to where they are. And I realize again that time is irrelevant or whatever. I don't get time. But yeah, I was surprised that I heard from my dad as quickly as I did. And then I took it for granted, thinking that he would always be there in my head talking to me. And he's not. He has things to do, and I mean, he might be around sometimes if I need him, but he's not there like he was in the beginning. So yeah, isn't it funny how we can take people for granted in real life instead of visiting with them? And then if you're connected to spirit, I even took for granted visiting with my dad's spirit, thinking it would be there all the time. Oh, I am pressing the wrong thing. 57 minutes on the dot. So we have 3 minutes to ramble. And then I still have to do my exercise as well. Fun times. I'm at 11 out of 30 minutes. So many things to do. Oh, on Saturday next week, so a week from yesterday, I'm going to see my favorite band, Blue October, again. That is very, very exciting. So I'm like anxious for it, but like in a good and bad way, like kind of like bleh, like anxious, but also like yeah, anxious. So, which is weird because I mean I saw them last year, but I don't go out lots and do stuff lots. So, but I'm pretty pumped. So yeah, I have been listening to the new album just to make sure I know all the songs and all the words. It's called Spinning the Truth Around, and at first I didn't understand what that meant, but when I heard the song, it's talking about the fact that it's basically like they're in a relationship and, you know, it's kind of like lying to yourself. Like, are we really happy? Is this really working out? Or are we just spinning the truth around, like, and making ourselves like, you know, so that's kind of what the song is like about. So I've been doing a countdown. I started yesterday. Well, I posted it today, but it was supposed to be for last night. Hi, Zippity. Roberta says, hi, Lisa. So I started, it was supposed to be for last night, but I didn't post until this morning because I was watching TV with Steve last night. So, but yeah, so last night was 7 sleeps until the concert. So I'm doing like a Blue October countdown, and each day I'm going to feature a different song. So yesterday's song that I featured was called Big Love, and it's a song that I dedicate to all 6 of our kids, because it's just saying that, you know, I'll give you big love and I'll be there, like, I'll love you when you cannot love yourself. So it's a really nice song. And then today's song is going to be Further Dive, and then in brackets, the house that Dylan built. And I'm going to post this as well, and I'm going to write this up. But you know when somebody passes away, and then you have those moments where you are like, you think you're doing good, everything's good, and then the grief hits you, and you just cry, and it's just like, where have you gone? How am I going to do this without you? Like, and it's just like you want to bawl your eyes out. Well, this song, Further Dive, is like, it's that song. It's like screaming into the universe, like, why are you dead? Why did you leave me? Why is this, you know, how is this fair? Kind of thing. But it's such a good song. But I like listening to it really, really loud in my headphones. And yeah, so it's called Further Dive. You can get all Blue October songs on YouTube. They even have their albums there, like, so you can listen to the whole album for free. And so, which means that when I go to the concert on Saturday, I'm definitely going to purchase some merchandise, because I haven't bought any of their albums, because I listen to them for free on YouTube. I want to support them. So, and it's so awesome that, like, they are big in the States. So the concerts in the States would be like, you know, like, ugh, so many people. But here, they are big enough to do a European tour, but not big enough that it's, like, grossly full. Plus, the tickets aren't as expensive as they would be. Like, Pink is doing her tour right now, but I can't afford to go to Pink again. And I know it's a good show, but, like, come on, how? And we're not, like, poor people, but how do you expect anybody to afford prices like that? It's just, I don't know. Anyways, so I'm doing the countdown. So Further Dive is a song for today, and it is a great song to listen to. Further Dive by Blue October, but grab your tissues before you do. It's it'll make you cry. So I hope everyone is good, that you are having a good day, and that you guys have a good week. And next time I see you, next Sunday, I will have already gone to Blue October. So I hope the concert's good on Saturday. Other than that, I don't think I have anything that's really serious this week that has to be done. So I'll try to be in the garden as much as I can, and, like, you know, not let the housework get too far behind. But yeah, so let me know what you're up to, and if you want any seeds, I still have some that I can post out. And yes, so let me know, flower and veg seeds. All right, love you guys. Have a great week, and we will see you next week with my new Blue October merchandise.